I'm going to be helping you find your most ergonomic, balanced, aligned position on your mountain bike. Oh, what up, everybody? Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be helping you find your most ergonomic, balanced, aligned position on your mountain bike, or maybe it's your hybrid. You can also apply this to some sort of a cruiser. Take a little bit of this for your road bike, all right? Road bike's a little different position. I ain't a road biker. So to start off, let's talk about what good posture is on a bike. And then what we do is build our setup around what good posture is. So on a bike, at your top, you're generally trying to find, it's your top seat position, your climbing position, when your handlebars are on here, and your spine is in a neutral position, which is this, okay? Not too much arch, not flexed underneath. Nice neutral curve, light core engagement. Shoulder blades on the back. Scapulas, they're not rolled kyphosed over, okay? They're actually pulled down, back slightly, and scooped underneath. That right there, that is your ideal posture on a bike. And you basically need to build out your components around that posture. The components to build out and modify are going to be your handlebar width, your handlebar height, your stem length, your seat height, and also your seat, the amount of forward and back on your seat. Those all need to be built around your ergonomics. So let's go through each one at a time. Oh, by the way, I give a shout out to this Hopper Balance trainer right here. This thing's awesome. Big shout out. Thanks for sending this over. You gotta watch the Instagram. It's pretty cool. This definitely helped me wheelie. It's to help you wheelie better. So ideally, when your arms are straight, scaps are in position, and you're at your ride height, you're looking for about a 60-degree spine angle. Now, many of you, what you can benefit from with the handlebar height alone is going to be, if you notice that you're getting back pain when you ride, a real simple solution to do is to raise your handlebars. Okay, I'm not saying it's always a solution, but raising your handlebars up, because the lower the handlebars are, okay, the more it forces your spine into a flex position. And the higher your handlebars are, the more it forces you into extended position. Obviously, once you reach a certain height and go above, your center of gravity is higher, and it can cause you to go OTB and hurt yourself, all right? So, but for the most part, back issue, back tension, I'd recommend bringing those handlebars up for the most part. Now, regarding the width of the handlebars, here's the deal, is the wider the handlebars are, the wider the handlebars are, the more rise you'll likely need, because you go wide and then your body starts to fall forward and shoot down. So the wider you go, the higher you likely should go. The wider is also going to give you a little more stability. Like I said, I'm no expert on all the technicalities, but what I will tell you is that a wider handlebar is going to give you better stability, especially on tight turns, and wider seems to be the predominant way that the industry is going on mountain bikes. So the wider you go, the higher you're gonna have to go as well to keep that 60-degree spine angle. Okay, now let's get into the seat height. On the seat height itself, mountain bikers, generally you're gonna wanna keep a slight angle of the lower leg. So let me try to show you where I tend to be. Right about there. So about a 10-degree, with your highest height, your climbing height, just a slight 10, 12-degree angle of this lead knee. Expert mountain bikers, comment below, help me out a little bit. It can get a little bit more technical than this. But for the most part, what I see many people doing is their bottom height is, they're basically, they tend to be too low when I look at them, where they're gonna be in this position. This is too low. Okay, so to get the most leverage out of your hamstrings and glutes, you do wanna be able to get a good degree of extension. So the extension from the hip, the maximum extension comes from a higher height that allows you to push back further. So on the seat height, on the pedal height, as I mentioned, you want to keep a slight knee bend at the top height. I think my top height, I'm pretty pleased with this. From an angle of the seat, again, those of you who have disc bulges, disc herniations, you tend to have a flatter back, posterior tilt. And so what you would want to do is get this seat and make sure it's got some forward incline in this seat. So I think I measured this seat height to be about, I think it's about 1 degree or 2 degrees forward at the top, maybe 1 degree. For those of you guys with disc herniation, sciatica, I definitely would recommend ticking it even a little more, maybe 3 degrees. And those of you guys that are already, that have too much arch of the back, you're getting SI joint pain, I'd recommend taking that curve away, taking it closer to 0 degrees when you ride, because that'll take pressure off of the joints. So that'll give you more curve in the back by tilting it forward, and tilting it back will take pressure off of the joints. I have literally, my whole life I've fantasized about having a Santa Cruz, and I just got this thing a while ago, and I fucking love this thing. And I personally just added 50mm rise on this handlebar. This has made a hell of a difference. For those of you guys who know, I'm a 6'4", so I'm a super tall rider. So for any of you tall riders out there, definitely look into the tall forums. There's a lot of forums out there as well for tall riders. You can take a look at specific forums where you can, find, that's where I get my, figure out my handlebar height, and also with some of my expert friends. I think that's about it with the handlebar height. So to sum it up, basic ergonomics of a mountain bike, your climbing height of your seat, keep a slight knee bend on this one, all right, that's common sense. Handlebar height, you want to keep about a 60-degree angle. I'm at about 70. I like to be a little bit taller. And if you're generally getting back pain, look at yourself in a mirror. You're probably crouched over, add a slightly higher handlebar. But if you go wider, you're gonna have to add even taller, because the wider you go, the more forward you go. You also get into which I didn't really get into, the stem as well, getting into stem length. I guess we could chat about that briefly. So what this is, your stem on a mountain bike, the further out it goes, but the longer of a stem I have, the more outreach I'm gonna have. So in general, you get your 60-degree angle of your bike, you get your neutral pelvis, slight curve in the back, arms in front of you, scapulars are pulled down and slightly pressed forward, and then you're simply gonna lower those down, and that height is about where you wanna be. So some of you might find by increasing your stem, you being out here a little bit more is gonna be more comfortable for you. And some people are gonna find that by being back here, which I definitely recommend experimenting with that stem, especially if you're an avid or regular mountain bike rider. Those posture ergonomics add up over time. You got your handlebar height, you got your handlebar width, you got a little bit of the stem. Ultimately, you wanna maintain that aligned body position, slight curve in the back, shoulder blades in position, holding this, and that's gonna be your neutral, your go-to position when you ride.